And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Oh my goodness. So happy to be here with you on, oh my goodness, a Friday night, the beginning of the weekend. Oh, we had this really big torrential downpour and then the sun came out and now we're getting ready to jump into summer this weekend, and the next week is going to be really hot and certainly seasonable. But I think we have a lot of really wonderful work to match that. My name is Nicholas Viselli. I'm the artistic director of Theater Breaking Through Barriers. Yes, I am indeed coming to you live right now as we speak. I am coming to you live from deep in the heart of the Thunderdome here in Midtown Manhattan. And I want to welcome each and every one of you to Theater Breaking Through Barriers' 5th Virtual Playmakers Intensive, or VPI 5 Time Capsule. I have to say, I can't believe that we're already at the weekend. We began on Monday, and we have just had this succession of great shows, boom, 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 one after another. They just, the hits just keep on coming, and I'm just so incredibly excited about them. But I have, oh my goodness, the perfect show to kick off this weekend. It was written by one of my favorite playwrights. Oh my goodness, we started working together with our first virtual intensive, and I just love this guy so much, Christopher Chan Roberson, and he has come up with another crazy, wild, I'll say in a certain sense, a love letter to New York City. I'll certainly say a love letter to, I guess, our profession and film and all of this other stuff. There's so much to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it. I want you to see it. So without any further ado, I want you all to sit back, relax, and enjoy. And I am about to turn the program right now over to our, remarkable, glorious voice who is going to be audio describing for you tonight, the legendary and incredibly gifted Andrea Misko. Andrea, take it away.
Thank you, Nick. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Andrea Misko, and I will be providing any necessary audio description for today's play. I would like to remind you all that during our virtual Playmakers Intensive, our stage is your computer screen. That said, currently the stage is dark. When the play begins, each character will appear in their own separate box on your screen. So with no further delay, here is What Genre Is This Rabbit? 4 Zoom windows appear, and they all have black screens. One by one, images appear. The images from all 4 cameras align, and it creates a photo of a rabbit. Interior, Zoom room, afternoon. The upper right window changes to reveal Abbott, who sits angrily in his chair. The bottom left quadrant changes to reveal Carla, smiling and ready to start their conversation. The other screens retain the portion of the rabbit image.
Of course, all of the special effects are temporary. There's no color correction or sound design, and I'm not sure if you love the temp track, but the music was done by some musician friends of mine. I thought their music might be something to consider if we wanted to take it in a different direction.
Albert is talking, but he's muted.
Abbott, you're muted.
I said, it looks like you took everything in a different direction.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm looking for some different combinations. I'm trying to shake things up. I'm trying to see if we can elevate it. I'm looking for some 1 + 1 = 3 moments. Abbott, there's a hidden meaning in the footage, and I can find it if I keep rotating through the possibilities. I'm finding the voice of the footage. Why aren't you saying anything?
Why are you acting weird?
What don't you like about my edit?
Carla, you've completely changed the film.
Yes.
What's wrong with what I wrote?
Have you been watching the news?
I don't watch the news.
You should.
What did I miss? Aliens, Bigfoot, Atlantis, vampires, werewolves, zombie apocalypse. Another plague, return of pre-existing play, Robot Uprising. Why aren't you saying anything?
The film is feeling a little tone deaf.
No offense, but if you're talking about the tone of the film, I wrote a comedy. You took all the jokes out. That's why the film isn't working. You edited it into something it's not. I wrote jokes. I directed the people to say jokes. Why can't that happen?
The comedy is a little, no, it's kind of, well, it's very inappropriate for what's going on right now.
What specifically?
Again, I go back to my comment about the news. It just feels a little kind of very inappropriate.
What's inappropriate now may be the norm of the future. I'm exploring that with my comedy.
I want to believe that. I do. It also feels like maybe you're shooting into a crowd of people, hoping that one of them is the criminal.
I want a comedy. Make a comedy.
Maybe we can explore that kind of material without having to be so on the nose. Maybe through allegory and analogy. We don't have to be so blunt with our dialogue. Remember the last film we worked on? It was beautiful because characters never said what they meant, but the audiences knew exactly what the subtext was. We don't want characters to say what they're thinking. You taught me that.
So what is it you really want to say to me?
I am saying it. I don't want to make this comedy. I think there's a better movie.
So what are you really saying? What are you really saying about us?
About us? Nothing? What?
Is there something you want to say about us, Carla?
No.
Is the conflict with the movie and lack of clarity really about the conflict between you and me?
No, Abbott.
Is your changing the genre of the film relating to you wanting to change the genre of our relationship?
I don't edit rom-coms. I do dramas and the occasional sci-fi.
I guess we're having problems with just the movie.
Yes.
Carla and Abbott disappear. All four windows create the same unified rabbit image from before. We hold on this moment for a few beats. Interior, office, day. The top left quadrant is replaced by Alice, who looks worried and scared. In the bottom right quadrant appears Elise, who looks impatient and exhausted. The other two quadrants retain their image of the rabbit.
It's in the email. When I'm leaving, when I'm coming back. It's all there. What needs to be done is all there.
Why did I have to find out from an email? It feels so impersonal. I asked for you to take a Zoom meeting with me because I'm nervous. There's something you're not telling me.
Alice, what am I not telling you? What could it be?
You are taking a vacation the week before our biggest presentation, and I'm not supposed to be suspicious? You're going to hand off your project to me and then leave the country? What am I going to find? Am I going to find out that you haven't started it? Am I going to find out that nothing has been built or delivered yet?
Alice, that's hurtful. I've gotten both vaccinations and travel restrictions have been lifted. Flights are cheap. I have been staring at two-dimensional people for a year now. I need to see actual humans that aren't inside a rectangle on my screen. I literally haven't left my apartment in months. Literally, not figuratively.
Please, I know the difference between literally and figuratively. Can I call you if there are any emergencies?
No. Vacation is vacation. That's why they call it vacation. There aren't going to be any emergencies. When I come back, you can tell me all about how you blew everyone away with the presentation, and I'll take you to the movies. By the time I get back, theaters will be open again. We won't have to do virtual watch parties over Facebook anymore. Won't that be awesome? Being in a movie theater? I know how much you love movies.
What about this conversation? What kind of movie is this conversation, Elise? When I hear your tone and listen to what you're saying, I feel like this is a horror film. This feels like you're gonna leave, then I'll be working alone on this project, then something's gonna jump out and kill me. You've handed me the egg from Alien.
Handed you the egg from Alien?
Then you've handed me the champagne glass with the black stuff in it from Prometheus.
I've handed you nothing from the Alien franchise. I've handed you the Infinity Gauntlet. You can do whatever you want with it. It's all there. What's wrong with the Infinity Gauntlet? Everybody loves the Infinity Gauntlet.
You've handed me this. It's cute and cuddly, but all of a sudden I get the guy wet and feed him up at midnight. Now my entire apartment is infested with gremlins.
Maybe I've given you Gizmo, but I haven't given you a gremlin.
It's gonna turn into a gremlin.
I'm the old Asian man that gives away the mogwai.
Kai Luke?
Yes, I'm Kai Luke. Just follow the mogwai rules and everything will be fine. All the notes, all of the guidelines, the elements are there. It's paint by numbers. A child could do it. Just don't feed my PowerPoint presentation after midnight and you'll be okay.
Gremlins.
Trust Kai Luke. Trust the man. What do I need to do to convince you? It's not about me screwing you over. It's about me being able to feel some beach sand between my toes before you turn on the news and hear about me straight up murdering someone.
So this is a horror film then?
I guess it is a horror film, Alice. This has the potential to be a torture porn. I need to get out of this apartment. I will get out of this apartment. You will take care of Gizmo. You will not feed him after midnight. You will not get him wet. Have I made myself clear?
The video in all four Zoom windows are once again reset to form the rabbit photo. We hold on to this unified image for a few beats. Interior. Subway. Day. All four quadrants of the rabbit disappear. Anita, Bob, Daniela, and Jean all appear riding a New York City subway.
Hey, don't put your bags on the ground. I can't get by.
Sorry, I'll put it on the seat.
Hey, don't put your bags there. I was gonna sit there.
I don't know where to put it then.
What are you, British royalty? Put it on your lap like everyone else.
Bags are too big. Just put them on the ground.
That's even worse. How are you supposed to get by if the bags are on the ground?
Don't listen to him. I'll help you put them on the ground.
Please don't touch my bags.
Hey, your bag's wet. Wait. Blood? Your bags are bleeding.
Is this seat taken?
Don't sit there. There's blood on the seat.
Just kicked in the face by a subway performer. I think I can live with a bloody seat.
Daniela wipes her hands with a bloody tissue.
I survived COVID. I'm not going to be taken down by a bloody bag.
What the heck is in those bags?
Rabbits.
Hey, I've been there. When my kid had a puppy, it crawled into the washing machine and no one noticed. And then when I realized it had died, I put it in a bag as well and ditched it far from my house. My kid never found out.
I didn't kill the rabbits. They're very much alive, just injured.
This lady?
I'm taking them to the vet.
I wasn't talking to you, Tiger King. I was talking to the puppy killer next to you.
It's not like you can flush a dead puppy like a goldfish. Same kid had a goldfish. And when it died, we flushed it down the toilet and got him a new one. He thought it had changed colors. So whenever the fish died, we just replaced it. And he'd get excited that it changed colors again.
What happened to the rabbit?
They were fighting.
With what? You have a dog? Why'd you keeping your animals separate?
I hope a dog didn't do that. That would be terrible.
What were they fighting over? Was it a carrot?
This whole thing is a little suspicious. They just started fighting? Something trigger them?
Yeah, I mean, some dog breeds can get a little jittery around smaller animals, but that doesn't mean the dog did something wrong. That's just the dog's DNA.
Was it scratches or bites? I thought bunnies had little T-Rex arms.
Why aren't you taking an Uber?
The rabbits were fighting with each other. It was awful. I don't know what got into them, but I came home today and found out that they were ripping each other to shreds. First, I thought an animal broke into my apartment and attacked them, but upon closer inspection, I saw that they were going after each other. The carpet was covered in blood and fur. There was so much fur clumped up, I thought there was a third rabbit.
Anita, Bob, Daniela, and Jean continue to speak to each other, but Zoom switches away from gallery view. One by one, each character takes turns talking in speaker view, while the other three are muted in small windows above. Daniela speaks first, then Bob, then Jean, ending with Anita.
This is a horror movie. There's no way there are rabbits in her bag. I think this woman is distraught and she's gonna take out a machete out of a bag, cut off my head, and add it to her collection of heads in a bag. She took a subway because it was the fastest way to collect the most heads. This is the literal embodiment of every New York Post headline. Headless body found in topless bar. Monica Lewinsky spitting mad. Today's headline: decapitated woman found red-handed.
This is a sad drama. This reminds me of when I was a boy and my neighbor, he had a dog. The neighbor would let me play with him as if he were my own pet. When my parents got divorced, he let the dog stay over with me and sleep in my bed. I had to move that summer to live with my dad. On the day of the move, I had overslept and we had to get to the airport, and I never had a chance to say goodbye to the dog. Why is the story making me think of that dog? This woman is scrambling to take these rabbits to the vet late at night. She clearly cares for them. I'd like to think that if the dog was sick, I'd be able to take care of him. That was 20 years ago. There's no way that dog is still alive. What was that dog's name?
This movie is a comedy. Can you imagine two rabbits fighting to the death? You can't die from a pillow fight. No one's ever died from getting hit in the head with a marshmallow. I would have paid good money to see this. How bloodied and beat up could they be? I wonder if I asked if she would open up her bag to show me what the rabbit looked like. I'm sure my kid would want to see that. Most kids collect things like comic books and baseball cards. He likes to collect pictures of dead animals. Holy crap. I think there's something wrong with my child.
Why is everyone looking at me so oddly?
The perspective switches to viewer mode, and all 4 speakers can be seen at once.
Miss, I'm sorry. When I heard your story, I didn't know how to react. The idea of rabbits savagely fighting each other unexpectedly.
Just envisioning these two small furry creatures facing off against each other in a life or death struggle.
Knowing that an animal so stereotypically peaceful and cherubic can snap and become so savage at a moment's notice. It's, well,
What is it?
No one knows how to say what's on their minds. One by one, the people on the video screens disappear, and their images are replaced by a section of a photo. When the images assemble, it is a picture of an empty rabbit cage.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. I feel so bad for the little rabbits. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to apologize at the top. We had some technical issues. Hey, it's the joy of performing on Zoom and also the joy of performing live. So thank you for sticking it out and for getting to see this really wild. I love this show so much. Come on back, everybody. Let's chat here. Woo! Oh, look, we have an empty cage. Estrella. There's Fred Backus, a brilliant director. Chris Chan Roberson, that fantastical brain. Patrick J. O'Hare. Oh my goodness, come on. Oh, Ibaraki, thank you so much. Woo! Who are we missing? Where's Davene?
I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming. There I am.
Oh,
Hi.
oh, you guys. I really want to talk about this, not only the play, but I want to talk about this whole experience of working to put this together. I mean, there's so much to this. What I love about this play is it incorporates so much. I mean, I think the whole subway scene is hysterical. It's sort of a great little homage to New York City, yeah, I just love all the little things that you guys put together with all of this. Really amazing, and I'm so glad. Apologies, the music, we were having a little difficulty getting the music coordinated at the top, but we got it. We got it in. So, and I love that. I love the music. The music just sort of typifies. Yeah, it's perfect mood music for this. So, all right, let's start with you, Chris. How, like, what was cooking in your fantastical brain to come up with this this wonderful play?
Well, I think the process works. You know, everybody was so open, and I think if there's anything that you saw in the play that you liked, that was not something from the first draft. It was something from a discussion or something from someone trying something, or we attempted one thing and came to another. So it was just collaboration. I mean, we started off just telling stories, and I think the original version that I wrote had a lot more. I think it was much shorter, and it was like 5 or 6 bits, and it got whittled down to 3. But no matter what, I think it was always about just taking what everyone contributed and and just kind of having kind of a wacky experience. I was trying to relate it to being on stage and someone doing improv, where like you have an idea and you jump to next idea. So everyone had great energy, and but most importantly, it was just everyone just being willing to be open and participate and just share something that happened to them, or a story, or a moment. And I think that's why it feels so bizarre, because it's true. There's nothing more bizarre than the truth.
Yeah, it's true. I love that. Like that, again, the fact that all of you are willing to jump in and really embrace this whole idea is what makes this so great and so special. I thought I love the play, and I love the way you write. First of all, you like myself are sort of a real, like, I guess a real nerd or geek when it comes to things like superheroes. I mean, come on, you had a Kai Luke reference in there, man. You referenced Kai Luke. Okay, you referenced Master Po from Kung Fu. Come on, how good does and it's Gremlins. Come on, that's like staple of I guess a certain age, I guess. But Fred, all right, I have to. So, tell me how you managed to put this all together. Like I look at this in many cases as a play that there's all these different pieces and elements to it. The idea of using the backdrop to piece together the rabbit. And I hope that all worked out. It translated to YouTube, because on my screen, it looked perfect, but sometimes I get a little nervous. But what made you guys come up with all this stuff?
Well, I mean, most of it was in Chris's script, to be honest. I'd like to say, I had this great vision of putting rabbits behind it, but Chris came up with this stuff. He actually had a more elaborate technical stuff, but he came in saying, look, these are ideas. Whatever works. And if we have to strip it down, like originally we're playing with the ideas of having a movie of the rabbit. And but, first and foremost, it was, what is going to work and what's going to make the actors comfortable. And aside from all the bells and whistles, this is still an actor-driven piece. And that was in the writing from the beginning. That was certainly in my consciousness going through it. So, and luckily, so, when the sound doesn't work for the beginning, the actors could still carry the piece, which they did. And because that's really what it's all about,
Mm-hmm. And it really is. I mean, this is sort of the one of the great reasons why, first of all, I love stage actors, and it's that ability to just go on. If something's not working, you go on. And this has happened a few times, certainly in this intensive and in past intensives, where whatever you're planning or rehearsing just doesn't work out for some reason, or an actor loses a connection in the middle of a show, or whatever the case. And it's that it then becomes that testament of like, okay, do we intervene or do we sort of sit back and say, let's just see how they handle this, Because if you were on stage, that's what would happen. The curtain, no one's going to come out and save you. You've got to do it yourself.
The joys and terror of live theater. Yes.
No, it's wonderful. It really is. And you guys really nailed it. I think that's really, really exciting. So, all right, now this is going to be more geared towards the four of you guys, because this was indeed a collaboration. But what was this like working on this really great piece with these two with these two guys? You start, Estrella.
Okay. I've had the honor and privilege of working with Chris on another play. In fact, the last intensive, I was in his play. And so I knew how his brain worked. And I was like, okay, let's see what he comes up with this time, because it's always wacky and fun and interesting and intricate. And he loves to play, which is so much fun for the actors. And the sky's the limit with Chris. And this is the second time I've worked with Patrick, first time with everyone else. And I just love Fred's directing. I love how he talks and gets things across to the actors. I think he's an amazing director. I thought the actors, everybody was just like, Chris is like, okay, well, what are you guys willing to do? And we're all like, anything, we'll do anything. Like, you just tell us, give us ideas. And so it was really fun and a little it could get a little stressful, like, because there's like a lot of stuff to be clicking on. And then, of course, coming out of the green room, it changes the windows. And so I feel like acting on Zoom or acting virtually has really been very much what our whole entire, last 17 or however many months we've been in the pandemic, which is just stop, drop, and roll. Like you just have to like roll with how it's going. And you can plan and you can be somewhat prepared, but as far as like how it all comes out, like you just have to be ready for change and ready for whatever's gonna get thrown at you. So that's, I think, the fun of live theater is even when we're on an actual stage, like you're saying, the light, there could be technical problems, or somebody forgets their entrance. So it's like, and now we're dealing with technical stuff that is beyond our control. So all you can do is just kind of roll with it. But I absolutely love this cast. I love the writer. I love the director. Had such a great time doing this play. I love Chris's crazy mind, his wicked mind.
Yeah, I thank you. I love that. And again, what makes this so fun and exciting, and why I thought it was a good play to kick off our weekend Friday night show, is because it really does. I mean, Chris from the very, very beginning always wrote to take chances, and one of the things I want to do is explore the medium. There's a lot of elements now that we can do with Zoom that we weren't able to do 15 months ago in terms of technical stuff, and it's not that I don't want to play around with that. I really do. I just, for this, I want to try to keep it more as simple and basic as possible. And yet, even within those confines of not doing add-ons to Zoom so that we can do special effects and do all this other stuff. I mean, we're making it work, and that is exciting. Anyway, I don't want to talk much more. I want to actually hear what Patrick has to say. What was this like for you, Patrick?
It was so much fun. It was great to work with Estrella again and Chris, because this was my second time with Chris. I was less winded for this production because I wasn't running down 4 flights of stairs to make it to the street. But it was like, that was a phenomenal show too. That was so much fun. This was I really felt challenged because there were things I'm like, when Chris and Fred were talking about like what we're gonna do, and I'm like, oh, you can't do that on Zoom. And then I'm like, oh wow, you can do that now on Zoom? that when was that upgrade? So I was amazed. So I felt like I learned so much during this production, because I was like, wow, and I told some friends, did you know that, like, and they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, well, little bird told me. So, but I was also amazed with how, like, we had the discussion and how Chris incorporated like what was said in the discussion into this piece. And I'm like, but how? I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it was incredible. It was really incredible. And I adore Fred's direction. It was so good. He's so patient. Because we were struggling with the new technology and he was so good. He was so good at character building. Wonderful.
It's a lot. It really is a lot of work, because in addition to having to perform, you do have to be your own technicians as well. And no matter what, no matter how we try to keep it as simple as possible, it still involves a lot of other little things. I mean, making an entrance is also clicking your camera on, making sure your camera is off, making sure you're touching all of those bases. It's a lot. It's a lot to remember. So I'm so grateful to you guys for putting it all together and rehearsing it and getting it all set up. Now, Aya, tell me how this was for you. I mean, I have not had a chance to meet. Well, I've known, again, I can't wait to see you all in person. With Estrella and Patrick and Aya and Davene, I've never had an opportunity to be in your actual physical presence. Fred, of course, we've known each other for many years. And Chris, we bumped into each other, I think, once on the street because we happen to live a half a block from each other. But what was this like? Tell me what this was like to do this show.
Well, first of all, I worked with Chris before on my first TV show, and that was just like so incredible. So like I was very excited, and when I read the script, it was like it just like it was amazing how he, you know, made a story from like what we discussed in the first meeting, and that was so exciting. And then when we first did the read through, it got more exciting because like to hear like all the talented actors, and then when we started working, I really appreciated like Fred's like directions and suggestions, which really helped me because it was fun to play. And yeah, it just I felt like everything was so good, and I'm really appreciating this experience.
Oh, well, I am appreciating working with you and all of you guys. It's just been really amazing. So, but I'm saving you, Davene, for last, because this is the first time that you are performing with us. It's the first time you're certainly doing one of our virtual intensives, and I'm so grateful to your daughter, Kalila Black, who has actually has done a few of our intensives, and she's certainly in this one as well. So what was this? I don't know. Have you done virtual theater before? Have you ever done anything in the last 15 months online?
You said 15 years?
15 months.
You
Not
said
15
15
feels
years?
like 15 years.
You said 15 years, right?
Yeah, 15. Oh, okay. You really want to go there?
Yeah,
15
I'm gonna
years?
go there because I'm gonna go there because it's so refreshing. It's just plain refreshing. And this particular medium, it's very challenging. I mean, I'm good on a cell phone, but really, truthfully, I've kind of shied away from laptops. So being on the computer and doing this, I have really crazy respect for the lighting techs and for the sound people and for all of those people that are behind the scenes, because truthfully, these cues matter. We just saw, and of course, the writing was excellent. Like, everybody, I'm just going to piggyback on what they said. We had one conversation, and this guy with this crazy creative mind put all of that together, our reactions to a story, unbelievable. And you, Fred, like they said, I'm piggybacking again, the patience, the ideas, and especially with me, because I was always like 2 beats behind everybody when it came to doing things, and even, this whole hiding the fear thing, I had thought at that, because I'm like, oh my God. But I think what really, really stuck out, with me is that I'm in like the most comfortable place that I could be, my home, I am fully dressed, but I could have had on just, like pajamas under here or whatever. But guess what? The jitters felt like I was like on Broadway, and the curtain was there, and I'm like, look, there's my family. I felt the jitters like I was, out doing a brick and mortar play, if you will. I mean, really, and this is no more comfortable place. I couldn't ask for any more comfortable place. My cat is sitting right here, but I still felt like, and that's just from the joy of doing it, and from the commitment, and from, the respect of everybody here. We had such a good time. Everybody just pitched in and did what we laughed at each other. And I just want to thank you all for welcoming me. I want to thank my baby girl for even suggesting this, because yes, Mom has been bitten by the bug again. And I hope I can.
Right where you should be, Davene.
I hope that I can be a part of another agenda with you guys again, So just thank you so much for welcoming me, and thank you so much for having me. I loved it.
No, you count on it. You are amazing. And I have to say, I'm so glad that you're able to do this, because you are so talented. Obviously, Kalila's got to get her talent from somewhere, and to actually get an opportunity to see what you're doing. It's like, oh yeah, now I'm getting a picture here. I know
if she's watching, she better be watching.
If she's not, you talk to her about it later.
She better be.
Before we go, because I want to give you guys a few minutes to just really unwind and get a drink, or if you have to use the bathroom or something, you have an opportunity to do that. But can someone just tell me about the dead rabbits? Like, what happened with the dead? Like, where did that come from? Who cooked up the dead rabbits, man?
You got to do it, Aya. You have to.
They're not dead, but go on.
I'm like volunteering to foster bunnies right now, and I ended up like adopting one. So, and I'm fostering like another one. So I have two bunnies right now. And then one day, one of them like escaped from her like playpen, and then they got into a fight, and it was a real incident that like they just like, when I realized they were just like fighting in the air, and the fur was everywhere. They were okay, but very concerned. So I shared this.
Call CPS.
But
Or
you didn't
BPS.
tell them though. We all
BPS.
had, but we all had different reactions, and that's what Chris honed in on, which was so funny because, you heard the play, and so I was just stifling a laugh because I felt so bad. The more she talked, the more funny it sounded to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just the idea of rabbits, like, rabbits are like considered, and I know that they have their own,
Personality,
their own system there, but they're like the most docile little bunnies, and when rabbits attack, it just becomes like a joke.
It's funny because we were saying about be careful, if they're different genders, you might make more bunnies, you know what I mean? Like, so I thought it was interesting when I saw the title, what genre, like it sounds like, I don't know if that was like gender, genre, it kind of sounds similar, and I was like, oh my goodness. So it was so funny.
It's brilliant. It's a movie in and of itself. It's like, they have the birds, but the bunnies, if the bunnies attack and you can become like a bunny zombie, like, come on, that in and of itself is a great story. And I love this play too, because I think that this is one of those plays that I would love to try to move it to the stage. Or create a hybrid of it where there's like bits of it on the screen. I'd love to see the little rabbit appear on the screen. And like, I think there's the possibilities for this piece are just astronomical. So really, again, great job to all of you. This has been really such an incredible collaboration, and I'm just so grateful to you all. So thank you so much. Now I'm going to let you guys relax a little bit, take a break. I just want to wrap this up, and we'll start again in a few more minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank all of you for joining us again tonight, for bearing with us a little bit at the top of the show. We are so grateful to be able to come to you and to be able to share this work with you free. I mean, come on, where else are you going to get a better deal to see this like brand new work being created right before your eyes? I want to thank all of you for being a part of our work. You make our profession, well, we wouldn't be here without you. So please, if you haven't seen any of our other shows, please, you can watch them on YouTube. They're all there. You can see everything that you missed. And just so you know, we're going to be going on through Sunday, June 13th. So we have so many new shows that we want to be able to share with you. If you like what you saw, tell everybody, like shout it from the rooftops, family, friends, whoever. Bump into a stranger on the street, tell them to tune in to this. I promise you won't regret it. If you could friend us on Facebook, you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to our website, tvtb.org. You can see everything that our company is up to. And if you really love our work and you want to support us in a certain way, you can click the little donate button at the top of the page. A donation is sort of, that's a pact that we make with you. Like, you become a partner in the work that we do, and we take it very seriously. So again, we hope that you'll take advantage of that. And I promise you, we will continue doing our best to provide what we provide to you. So tomorrow, I'm telling you, this is really, really fun and exciting. Tomorrow night, well, Tonight you saw what genre is this rabbit, and Estrella Tamez was in this one. Tomorrow you're going to get to see Estrella as the playwright. Woohoo! So tomorrow night's show is a wonderful play called The Big Reveal. It was written by, yes, Estrella Tamez. It was directed by the ubiquitous Stuart Green. We all know Stuart Green. So many of you are here because of Stuart Green. And we have, again, a stellar cast. Sashi Banjera, Carlos Guillermo, Courage Backus, and Adreem Smith. So we are so looking forward. So please tune in. 7:30 here on YouTube, 8:30 on Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, a great weekend, and we will see you tomorrow night right here. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.